Great, thank you.
It's a little hard with the distance, but
Oh,
it's working out, right?
yeah, I can hear you probably. Probably can't really.
Yeah, I could probably play a little softer and just,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm.
accompanying you, right? But
Well,
I can hear you.
okay.
It's a little loud. But anyway, no,
No, I mean, I think you're not playing too loud. I don't think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Thank you. Ooh.
I don't think I've ever seen you in your room before. Oh, yeah. It looks so cool. Oh, it looks fabulous. Whoops. That's okay. And your shoes just add extra.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I love wearing these for Christmas. I don't go out to any fancy parties. It's the Christmas Eve service.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
When the lights went out, somebody could not see her music anymore. Okay. What should we do?
Maybe get one of the lights in the music room.
Do you have a stand light? You mean like a
Reading light.
Actually, she needs to see that.
That's okay.
We also have a spotlight. You could put it on really dim and put that on just on the heart. That would look really pretty, probably.
Okay.
It has a yellow dim setting. It's right as you go in to your immediate right.
It's so nice. Did you see that?
Do you have a way to plug in here?
never know what's gonna be like that, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then, yeah, it can go down a bit too if that helps.
Do you think this will help?
Yeah.
Lisa?
Hey Kay, Sachi,
Oh.
do you want an extension cord?
I think this is okay.
Okay, great.
Could you try to turn, I think the personal position is fine, but could you try to, turn off the lights, like as, I don't know how much light she needs. This looks fine now, but I'm not sure. Maybe this one. Only a size of think it's just here. It's the window. Yeah.
Just gonna do some crowd noise. What do you want to do as Just want to welcome you to the 9 o'clock service. So nice to see you, and we're going to start our prelude with our harpist, whose name is Sachi Ikuma. Thanks for coming, Sachi. I'm happy to hear you.
So good evening and a very Merry Christmas to everyone.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
We are so grateful that you have come out here to spend Christmas Eve with us. And as we gather, given the rise in COVID numbers, we're asking that you keep your masks in place, except at the end when you blow out your candle, but we'll let you know when that is. And if you need a mask, they're available on our welcome desk, or you can reach out to one of our ushers and they'll bring one to you. We gather this Christmas Eve in no ordinary time with no ordinary task. But I must warn you that this night, if you came to this place expecting a tame story, you came to the wrong place. If you came for a story that does not threaten you, you came from a different story than the one that we tell. But if you came here because you think that poor families fighting for their children are some of the strongest people in the world, if you came because you think people who work the third shift just might attract the attention of an angel, if you came because you think there is wisdom that can arrive in the voice of a refugee and make you see your country with clarity, if you came to follow the light, even if it startles you a little bit, my friends, you are in the right place.
Deep in the winter's night, drawn from the solstice Yule of ancient times, inspired by the story of Jesus' first night on earth. Yearning for love in times of uncertainty and unrest, we gather a people seeking the spirit of Christmas. We gather for gifts formed in the human heart, shared from kindness we each possess, to bring about the kingdom of a God who is known as love and experienced as peace when justice reigns free. For this, the light returns in this season and the earth turns toward life.
It is with the spirit of generosity, a warmth in the winter, a leaning toward light, that we kindle now our chalice. This is the light of our faith. This is the flame that persists, the symbol of the source calling us back, each to the other, siblings of one earth.
Would you please rise in body or spirit and join in singing, O Come All Ye Faithful.
King A reading from Luke. The angel appears to Mary. The angel said to her, "Do not be afraid, Mary, for you have found favor with God. And now you will conceive in your womb and bear a son, and you will name him Jesus. He will be great and will be called the Son of the Most High, and the Lord God will give to him the throne of his ancestor David. He will reign over the house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdom there will be no end." Mary said to the angel, "How can this be, since I am a virgin?" The angel said to her, "The Holy Spirit will come upon you, and the power of the Most High will overshadow you. Therefore, the child to be born will be holy. He will be called Son of God, and now your relative Elizabeth, in her old age, has also conceived a son, and this is the 6th month for her who was said to be barren. For nothing will be impossible with God." Then Mary said, "Here am I, the servant of the Lord. Let it be with me according to your word." Then the angel departed from her.
Even if I don't see it again, nor ever feel it, I know it is. And that if once it hailed me, it ever does. And so it is myself I want to turn in that direction. Not as towards a place, but it was a tilting within myself. As one turns to a mirror to flash the light to where it isn't, I was blinded like that, and swam on what shone at me, only able to endure it by being no one. And so, specifically myself, I thought I'd die from being loved like that.
The Magnificent Defeat by Frederick Buechner. Night was coming on, and it was cold. The shepherd said, and I was terribly hungry. Have you ever had this happen to you? You've been working hard all day. You're dog tired, bone tired. So you call it quits for a while. You slump down under a tree or against a rock or something and just sit there in a daze for half an hour or a million years. You could be dead for all you notice. Then, little by little, you begin to come to. Your eyes begin to see. And all of a sudden, you find you've been looking at something the whole time, except it's only now you really see it. One of the ewe lambs, maybe, with its foot caught under a rock. Or the moon scorching a hole through the clouds. It was there all the time, and you were looking at it all the time, but you didn't see it till just now. That's how it was this night, anyway, like finally coming to. Not things coming out of nowhere that had never been there before, but things just coming into focus that had been there always. And such things. The air wasn't just emptiness anymore. It was alive. Brightness everywhere, dipping and wheeling like a flock of birds. And what you always thought was silence stopped being silent and turned into the beating of wings, thousands and thousands of them. We all tore off across that muddy field like drunks at a fair, splashing through a sea of wings and moonlight and the silvery wool of the sheep. Shh, shh, you'll wake my guests, said the innkeeper we met coming in the other direction with his arms full of wood. At the eye of the storm, you know, there's no wind, nothing moves. Even silence keeps silent. Hush now, hush. You see him? Open your eyes. Listen.
From
from Matthew, the king's travel to see Jesus. Then Herod secretly called for the wise men and learned from them the exact time when the star had appeared. Then he sent them to Bethlehem, saying, "Go and search diligently for the child, and when you have found him, bring me word, so that I may also go and pay him homage." When they had heard the king, they set out, and there, ahead of them, went the star that they had seen at its rising, until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw that the star had stopped, they were overwhelmed with joy. On entering the house, they saw the child with Mary, his mother, and they knelt down and paid him homage. Then, opening their treasure chests, they offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to return to Herod, they left for their own country by another road.
The queens came late, but the queens were there with gifts in their hands and crowns in their hair. They'd come with these three like the kings from afar, following, yes, that guiding star. They'd left their ladles, linens, and looms, their children playing in nursery rooms, and told their sitters, "Take charge, for this is a marvelous sight we must not miss." The queens came late, but not too late, to see the animals, small and great. Feathered and furred, domestic and wild, gathered to gaze at a mother and child. And rather than frankincense and myrrh and gold for the babe, they brought for her who held him a homespun gown of blue, and chicken soup with noodles too, and a lingering, lasting cradle song. The queens came late and stayed not long, for their thoughts already were straining far past manger and mother and guiding star and a child aglow as a morning sun toward home and children and chores undone.
I take it most of you have your presents wrapped and waiting under a decorated tree? Yes? Yeah, well, maybe some of you. Okay. Is the Christmas meal prepped and planned? Also? How about the family holiday card, the annual card? Has it been put in the mail or we're still working on it? Or we've just abandoned it altogether? There we go. All right. Well, hopefully the last package has been delivered just in time. It is the penultimate night of Hanukkah, and you have enough latkes resting in the fridge, hopefully. I want to acknowledge that the weather might have some of us anxious as we wait to be reunited with our loved ones. And here we are at Beacon in person after 3 years. Yay! Can I get a yay? Thank you. It is that time of year when the world seems to slow. And despite the uncertainty of our futures, we can pause. A deep breath, a stillness between the in-breath and the out-breath, just a fleeting moment to consider our relationships. Isn't that in itself enough? The time and the space to pause, to marvel, and wonder at how we are all connected. Throughout the year, we give each other gifts beyond the material. Gifts of love, compassion, advocacy, energy, persistence. All these and so many more, gifts of our common humanity. And when times change, as they surely will, and our future seems bleak, as we face hardship or suffer, as all other beings everywhere, the spirit of a night like this can bring us hope. The promise of tonight is that our acts of generosity throughout the year will stay alive in the good works and ministries of this congregation, a congregation that unites to offer warmth to those who are cold and hungry, shelter to those needing safety, a congregation which grounds and holds us, heals and inspires us as together we journey onwards. Our evening's offering will now be given and gratefully received.
Thank you so much. Picture it with me. It's 9 days before Christmas, and I'm on the phone with a loan officer. We have a bit of debt we've been carrying, and I'm trying to find a better interest rate. And for once, maybe the only time in my entire life, I only want to talk about numbers. There are presents to buy, after all, a new stocking to be made with felt letters in need of ironing for Ariana, who came to be with us in June, and our oldest child's birthday is today, Christmas Eve, and he has asked for an Iron Maiden decorated cake. You're so logical about this, not emotional at all, says Bruce in a calm tone, as if he has all day to chat with me, his old friend. And just as my feminist ridges begin to rise about me, imagine that, a woman calm with numbers, a Christmas miracle. He adds, I'm the emotional one in my family about money. I don't have time to consider the implications of this for a loan officer. And so I ask him instead about the percentage rate. It's variable, but it won't exceed, and his voice trails back, and I feel myself calming. Good, we are back to the numbers. Then Bruce says, it'll take a minute for everything to come through, so we have some time to talk. No, Bruce, I don't want to talk. For the love of the baby Jesus in the pageant 8 days from now, I don't want to talk. And I think then about a story that the very first Unitarian Universalist minister I ever met, Reverend Karen Anderson, had told me years and years ago about how as a child she longed to work for the Salvation Army and be one of the bell ringers with the red bucket, right, around this time of year. And she says this is before she knew about their theology. Well, finally, she gets the chance in her early 20s, and her first assignment is to a mall. And as she gets to the mall, I think we're having a little bit of an echo. There we go. As she gets to the mall, all excited to ring her bell. She can't wait. This is going to be her big moment, right? The manager of the mall comes up to her and waves at her. Oh no, he says, not that bell. They hate the bell in this mall. We get complaints about it all the time. Not that bell. Here, he says. And he hands her a sign, and on one side of it, it says, ding. And on the other, it says, dog. You can flip the sign, the man says. Turn it off. That's not a sign of what's to come. Have any of you seen those photos, though, of what angels really were supposed to look like in the biblical depictions? Yeah. They're kind of like that. They're terrifying. I'm about to talk about how this story isn't complete or done, but I didn't quite mean like that. So, I was saying, he hands her a sign, and on one side says ding, and on the other side it says dong, and he says, here, flip this, no bell. And you can imagine in that moment, Karen feels absolutely deflated. She's waited her whole life for this moment, and now she has a choice. And Karen is better than me. She takes the courageous path, and she says she starts flipping that sign with fervor. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong at every passerby. But after about 45 minutes of this and all of the chuckles and people not being able to make eye contact with her, let alone putting money in the bucket, she starts feeling deflated. "What do you do?" Bruce asked me. Holy mercy, I knew it was coming. Ding dong. "I'm a minister," I say. "Oh, I almost became a minister," he says. Ding dong. My daughter is texting me about where to find her homework folder, and not so little 4-year-old Benjamin is moaning at the door that he wants chocolate milk, and I'm desperately worried that we are going to run out of money to fund Summit Warm Hearts, and that we won't be able to staff it through the winter. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. "It's a funny story," Bruce continues, without waiting for any indication that it's a story I want to hear. Ding dong. It's then that I remember the end of the story from Reverend Karen, that after being laughed at for a couple of hours with just 33 cents in her bucket, a man comes up to her in a wide-brimmed cowboy hat, and he is laughing so hard that he has to take one hand and place it on his knee and the other on his hat so that it doesn't fall off his head. Tears are rolling down his face, and she just continues, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. And she thinks at some point this man has to run out of the energy to laugh at her and take the last dribble of dignity from her being. And then he rises and she thinks, oh, thank goodness it's over and I can get out of here. And that's when he says, "Well, I never, ma'am." And he takes out his wallet and moves past the 1s and the 5s, the 10s and the 20s until he gets to a 50. And he begins to fold that 50, small enough to fit in the coin slot of the red bucket. And he says, anybody with the courage to flip that sign with that fervor ought to be rewarded. And he drops the 50 into the little red bucket. And then just as Bruce finally delivers the numbers, he asks, "So do you have some vacation or some time off planned?" And I jerk my body back. "No, of course not," I say, surprising us both with my tone. Ding dong, ding dong. Then there's a long pause on the phone, longer than a loan officer should permit when he's trying to get your signature. And then very slowly, kindly, but in a concerned voice, Bruce says, "You know, it's really all about spending time with the people that you love, Reverend. You think you have more time than you do. It's not all about the numbers." I look at my 2 kids then, Benjamin and Ella, and I'm so shocked I have to catch my breath at how far I've come from who I am in that moment of frenzy. And suddenly Bruce is some kind of angel from It's a Wonderful Life. And I'm there trying to catch my breath while he folds a 50 into the red bucket. Madeline L'Engle writes in The Risk of Birth, Christmas 1973, "This is no time for a child to be born, when the earth betrayed by war and hate and a comet slashing the sky to warn that time runs out and the sun burns late. When is the time for love to be born? The inn is full on planet Earth, and by a comet the sky is torn, yet love still takes the risk of birth." Sometimes I think of Christmas as complete and done, but in truth, the lights and the stockings with their felt letters at last ironed on are pointing to something else entirely. The early Jesus followers did not think of this time as a commemoration of a story complete and done. It was a calling to celebration, to constellations, and conviction of what could be. That joy incarnate, justice incarnate, that hope in action, that love in action could be more than a story of once maybe. and that the time of such a birth was happening at any moment in every human, in every generation. And angels and shepherds come as loan officers, come as Ken, an unhoused neighbor who is a part of the Summit Warm Hearts community and stood before us just a few weeks ago to share his story. They come as the hard teachings that compel us to reconsider our understandings or assumptions, the boxes that we have placed others and ourselves in. They come as old stories still teaching us new truths. Did you know Mary had a choice? Did you know she consented in the text? That bodily autonomy is older than the modern crisis of control? That Jesus, an ordinary baby, came from poverty and the crush of empire to teach not revenge, not an eye for an eye, but transformative justice that teaches us still. It is indeed the Mary or sweet, the Christ or anointing, the Mass or the sending each year, the sweet sending of the anointment for which we gather, the sweet sending that not all is written or complete, that revelation continues, the sweetness in what might be written by us in this time, in this place, in this generation. So sweet sending of hope this night, sweet sending of love, sweet sending of justice, sweet sending of courage, sweet sending of peace. Indeed, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, beloved.
In every moment, we can choose love. We can lean the light toward hope and joy. Love, like the flame of a candle, is not diminished in its sharing, but magnified. So let us grow the light now as we pass the flame from one to another, and let us share in singing Silent Night.
take a moment as you hold your candle to look at the faces around you to the left and to the right, those held close and warm in the embrace of community. And now, beloved, make a wish for yourselves, for those close to you, for our country and the larger world. I invite you to watch what happens as we lift our candles high. See how much power our collective light can bring, not only to where we are, but beyond this circle, out even past these walls, a light traveling out ahead of us, and a light that reaches out across the ages.
In the words of Howard Thurman, when the song of the angels is stilled, when the star in the sky is gone, when the kings and the princes are home, when the shepherds are back with their flocks, the work of Christmas begins. To find the lost, to heal the broken, to feed the hungry, to release the prisoner, to rebuild the nations, to bring peace among people, to make music in the heart.
So say your wish silently, and as we extinguish our candles, let us not extinguish a bold, relentless, active hope for our world and for ourselves. Some wish worthy of the magic and promise of Christmas, worthy of the very work of our lives. Let us bring that light out into the world, for tonight could be the night that love, hope, justice, and joy are born anew. And let us sing joy to the world.
Ring out wild bells, let the scent of evergreen and the shimmer of the stars bless our beings and those far from us this night.
In the deep darkness of winter, weave joy in surrender and peace in resistance, the power of love once more.
From child to elder and youth to young adult, from refugee to royalty, from mosque to church, and from banquet hall to manger. Let the people be woven across this land a garment of hope this deep winter's night, the eve of Christmas.
Yes, bring boughs of holly, bring gifts of our very being, bring hope beyond dreaming.
Merry Christmas, beloved.
Merry Christmas.